Welcome to playoff season. 20 drivers, 10 races, 1 champion. There will be plenty of highs.
Goes high. Kevin Thompson goes high.
Kevin Thompson's got it.
Kevin Thompson with a last-second move. My God, made the high side work.
A few lows.
Adam Gardner into him. That's going to bring out a caution for sure.
Oh, no.
And a whole lot of burn it down.
But Kevin Thompson, burn it down, son. If you still got any gas in that thing, my friend, burn it down. And he is going to burn it down. Well-deserved and earned for Andrew St. Cyr. Let's see a show.
Get ready. It's playoff time at New Hampshire for the Group 6 Cup Series.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Doghouse Racing TV. Welcome to the Group 6 Cup Series, and welcome to the 4th race of playoff season. Last week we were at the mean short track race of Bristol. Today we head up to the Great White North to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Group 6 156. Here again in the 4th race of our playoff season. It is sure to be an exciting one, but before we get on over to all the racing action, we've already got our drivers out here on the track finishing up their practice. Let's make sure we go ahead and pay the bills and thank all of our wonderful sponsors that keep these cars on the track and keep us up here in the booth. As mentioned before, this is the Group 6 Cup Series, and Group 6 is double dipping for us tonight. Also our race sponsors, so special huge shout out to Group 6. Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence, explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com, and see how they can drive your digital success. Special thanks once again to Group 6 for being our series sponsor this year, as well as our race sponsor tonight. Doghouse Racing League and the Group 6 Cup Series is also very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared, legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Thank you to Shoney's for being a longtime friend and sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League. We're also very proud in the Doghouse Racing League and the Group 6 Cup Series to be sponsored by Butt Kicker. If you want to take your sim racing experience to the next level, be sure to head on over to their website at thebuttkicker.com and pick yourself up something today. Trusted by both professionals and everyday drivers. Anything you pick up from their website, you will not be sorry. Again, check out their website at thebuttkicker.com, and thank you to Butt Kicker for being a longtime friend and sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League. Well, as mentioned before, this is our 4th race in the playoff season, and things are heating up. Had a very exciting and very hectic race last week at Bristol, and we are expecting no less up here in the booth for this race at New Hampshire. As always, my name is Hunter Foley. I'm up here with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith, and we are very excited to be here with you live on Doghouse Racing TV for this race here tonight. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Maybe you've got us on split screen with Thursday Night Football or Major League Baseball playoffs right now, so we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. Got 7 people out there in the stream already. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. These drivers appreciate it as well. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet so you don't miss any of the upcoming playoff action. And as always, get in the comments, get loud, cheer on your favorite drivers. I know they appreciate it, and we love reading it. As always, we got BMAC in the comments already, and away we go. Race number 4. Good luck to Team BMP. Looking forward to another great night of broadcasting, Hunter and Jonathan. Keeping my eye on you, number 12. Have an amazing race, Andrew. As always, BMAC in the comments, cheering on Team BMP and cheering on the number 12 machine of Andrew St. Cor, currently sitting in second place in our playoff point standings. But with all that being said, let me go ahead, stop my rambling, stop my talking, actually get someone with some education in the building, turn it over to my partner, Jonathan Smith, to talk to us a little bit more about New Hampshire.
Well, it's good to be back, and for the first time in a while, this has been a problem-free broadcast so far, getting out here and getting things started. So
you can't see it, but I am knocking on wood. My fingers are crossed. My toes are crossed.
yeah, I mean, it's been something every single week, and I think we're actually kind of figuring out like a second wave of the flu that's almost hit us here in the broadcast booth, but we were figuring it out. But out here at New Hampshire, going to be a tough one today as we pull up some of the race info for you. Out here in New Hampshire, going to be a mile-long track. They call it the Magic Mile for a reason. Got to be heavy on the brakes going into the corners, really easy coming out. I do have some cameras set up on that exit of turn 2, so when these guys come out, you might see some of that tail end slide out, and a little bit less than that from Gary Armijo right there. But it's going to be tough getting out of that corner. As far as the weather goes, got a good day for racing. About 70 degrees, 83-degree track temp. A little bit of humidity, some clouds overhead, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem as we get out here going racing, and just looking forward to getting week 4 started of this playoffs.
This is going to be a fun one. I know we were talking about it a little bit before the race as we're kind of seeing these guys finish up their practice laps out here right now. But New Hampshire's a tricky one, man. It's, on the surface, you just see, standard mile-long track. But like you said, coming out of turn 2, those guys are going to be throwing the rear end of that car around, trying to get it to actually make that turn. You're going to see a lot of guys really heavy on their brakes tonight, trying to get down to that low side so they can get back into the accelerator, get up high, and actually be able to complete their passes. And we just saw it again. I think it was Mark Dumont and Richard Leclerc out there trying to make some moves out there in practice, and just guys slipping and sliding all over the place. I can't imagine what this place would be like if we had 100-degree track temps. But thank God it's fall. Thank God things are cooling off a little bit, and it might give these drivers at least a little bit easier of a time here tonight.
Absolutely. Looking out here through the list, we have about 20 drivers currently in the lobby right now. 4 minutes left of practice before we begin qualifying. Face you haven't seen in a while right here, Brent McCoy. I believe he picked up 2 wins in the Doghouse Racing League. I think one was at Atlanta. I know the other one was at Martinsville earlier this year. And he is back out tonight for some New Hampshire action. We know he's mad fast and he can get to the front. But who we're really keeping an eye on tonight is going to be probably Jamie Horn, who has built himself out quite a lead in the points, but hot on his heels, Andrew St. Cor. It's been a chess match between St. Cor and Jamie Horn all year long. And to reveal tonight, we're showing cockpit cams for the first time, so you can see what these drivers are going through as they're driving from their sim at home. And the 2 I have right now, actually, are none other. Well, as soon as I say, I think he turned it off.
That's about how that goes.
Yeah. I do have Andrew St. Cor. We're going to get him fixed, and Jamie Horn out here tonight in the cockpit cam, so we'll be able to take a live look in on them as they are going around trying to duke it out to get some of this lead in the points, or increase their lead, I should say. But while we're talking about points, let's go ahead and cut over to our current point standings so you can see where your favorite driver is at before qualifying starts here. Currently sitting in first place, I do have Jamie Horn with 16 top 5s. That is the T5 over the right-hand side this year. No change for him, Andrew St. Cor or Kevin Thompson in the first 4 races here. Just McMahon moving up 1 spot from last week, kicking Eric Orman down to that 5th place spot. Chris Simon sitting in 6th, Gary Clune 7th, Adam Thompson in 8th. And you can kind of see the stretch between Jamie Horn and Andrew St. Cor there between 73 points. But then it gets a lot tighter after that. Moving on just back a little bit further. Going to Josh Culley Man that drives it from the back to the front with 7 top 5s this year. Stephen Bonomo, Nicholas Atwood moving up 4 spots. Mike Leftwich moving up a spot. Bill Gentry moving up a spot. Daniel Wilkerson, Tyler Millette. And then to round out your top 20 for the playoffs, we do have Tony Martin, Adam Gardner, Zach Michael, and Mark Dumont. Zach Michael falling down 3 spots. Adam Gardner taking advantage of moving up after last race. But it is just heating up here, and it's going to be a good one. Well, just like that, that's going to be it for our practice session. About to move into qualifying here. See if I could unmute the audio for the actual race itself. Yeah, moving into qualifying here, and I don't know, it's a hard track to be fast at. I know there's guys that are very fast here, but it's hard to be fast at consistently. I mean, if you're talking how you're going to win this race, I think consistency has to be the #1 thing. You can see where they've kind of got a different groove in the track and different pavement. You're going to see some guys experiment with that, almost like you're riding the groove to try to make the tire rotate just a little bit. Also going to find some grips at different parts of the track as well, as we're watching Mark Dumont come down for his qualifying lap. Flushes just a little bit high. At least that's an out lap. I think he might park it and restart that one.
The thing that I'm looking at here, I'm looking back over some of our practice times here earlier. One thing to kind of tie into that point you were making just a second ago. Like you said, this is a track that definitely values consistency, being able to kind of hit your marks lap after lap after lap. Obviously, that plays very heavily into the hands of guys who we've seen be so consistent all season, including Jamie Horn. I joke and call him Mr. Consistency all the time, but I mean, Team BMP, those guys have been crazy consistent all year, especially Andrew St. Cyr. And then you've got guys like Christopher Simon, the Shoney's racing team. Chris Simon's been very consistent, running up near the front over the past several races. And then I know you just brought his name up. Normally we see he's Mr. Drive from the back, get to the front. I think we joked before that the day might come where pigs fly or the good Lord comes back when Josh Culley puts down a qualifying lap. But he also did run our fastest practice lap, and that was by over a 10th over Jamie Horn.
Yeah, that is something else. I'm trying to pull up the actual grid so it works out. The tower over here looks like the ticker was not going to work with me, but just trying some new things tonight. Trying to see who else is out on the track. Got Just McMahon coming around. Already completing his second lap. Going to try to practice pulling it down to the pits. Andrew St. Cyr only ran 1 lap and parked it.
Guess he was happy with that qualifying time. Currently has him sitting in 7th place. Jamie Horn currently your pole sitter right now with a 28.77 practice time. That is just a hair slower than his fastest practice lap. Fastest practice lap out there before we got to the qualifying, like I said, does go to Josh Culley, who ran a 28.36, which at this point in time is currently about 0.4 faster than anyone has qualified.
Really interested to see what kind of line these guys are going to run tonight too. I mean, I don't have much experience in the next gen cars here at New Hampshire. I think the last time I drove at this track was with the Xfinity cars, which are a little bit more drive off the right rear kind of car, meaning they're a little bit more loose, a little more free in the corner. And I remember staying in the middle of this track, but I'm seeing a lot of these guys go low. Almost grab that line as close as they can as Adam Thompson's going to move up here into the 6th place spot. Kevin Thompson out here taking some laps. And you got to think as the run goes on, you might start seeing some diamonds as you come out of the corner. Maybe you're in the mid, but you exit a little bit lower to get a straighter drive off of this track. There is some markers on the side of the wall that kind of tell you where you should brake at. I know one, if they haven't painted over, it was the big Toyota sign as you go into turn 3. That was always my braking point. I need to slow up right there, but it takes a lot of brake. Let's see if we can hop on here with Kevin Thompson as he's rolling around.
One of the things that I'm definitely going to be interested to see, especially if this race does stay green, is, like you said, especially because it seems like one of the strategies that we're seeing for these guys is to kind of get low, hug that corner right as you're going into entry, and as you exit, kind of letting it go all the way back up almost to the wall. You have to wonder if we have those long green flag runs, and as those tires start to wear out, is it going to be a situation where these guys are really going to start plowing, and then you're not going to be able to get down there and grab that low line like you want to on entry? You're going to be kind of stuck in the middle of the pack, or in the middle of the track, and then either A, you're going to kind of find yourself caught in the middle. People could either get around you on the high side or the low side, or just your car trying to send itself up into that wall.
Yeah, I think a big thing you're going to see tonight too is a little miscommunication on the braking zones where people are going to brake at. You might see some guys run to the back of each other, especially early on in the race. And I think as the run goes on and gets really deep into the race too, some guys might start braking a little bit earlier, deeper in the run, coming into that corner. And it's just going to be a matter of who's adjusting where and really not trying to run over somebody in front of you, because you got to have a clean car here.
Yeah, the aero is going to be a big deal here, and anyone that kind of gets that got into the back of somebody a little bit too hard, kind of mashed the nose in, this is going to be a huge difference maker, especially if the race gets later on here. Looks like we had 13 of our 19 drivers tonight put down a qualifying lap. After that, it will order up based off of I rating. Looks like Jamie Horn is going to be the one that's going to be taking our pole position. Here tonight, Kevin Thompson and Justin McMahon are going to be your drivers starting in 2nd and 3rd place. We will get to the grid once we get through our last little bit of warm-up here. These guys have 5 more minutes to do some final warm-up, maybe check to see what other lines people are running, where they might want to sit at. Looks like I saw a big slide there out of Britt McCoy. Maybe they want to check trying to get back down pit road. I know New Hampshire has a tricky pit road to try to get down. At least thank God they have the 45-mile-an-hour pit speed. I know for our race that we ran on Monday night for the Nap Daddy Racing League, had that 35-mile-an-hour pit road speed, and that thing is just doomed for drivers. actually just kind of sitting here listening to the driver radio. Got race admin and our fearless leader Daniel Wilkerson on the little radio. Give the guys a little pre-race talk here. Again, we do not play the driver radio over the stream for good reason. Sometimes people get a little angry. Want to make sure that people are free to speak their minds and maybe say some of the words that they want to that we wouldn't feel good about putting on the stream if maybe you're watching this with some kids or some grandkids or whatever the case may be. But Daniel actually out here telling the drivers, again, kind of like we were just talking about, your braking points are going to be a huge deal here tonight. Very easy to get loose, very easy to wreck, reminding the guys to call out their cautions when there's somebody slow on the track, and then just reminding them, you know, be mindful of your braking points. Be mindful that other drivers probably won't have the same braking points as you, especially as the race gets later. Those things are going to change throughout the course of the race. Just reminding everybody to be very careful out there, as it probably will be a tough night of racing. Again, doing 156 laps here in the Group 6 156 at New Hampshire. It's going to be an exciting one, man. I'm going to, if I had to place my money on a driver here tonight, I'm actually going to go, normally I always say I feel cheap picking the pole sitter, which a lot of races here recently has been Jamie Horn, and he is currently on a 2-race win streak here in our playoffs. So I'd say you have some pretty heavy negative odds if you put your choices Jamie Horn, but I'm just gonna go purely based off of the practice time. I'm gonna go Josh Culley. I think he's gonna come from behind, come from 14th place, get himself a win here in the Group 6 Cup Series playoffs.
Yeah, that is a solid pick. I've been trying to figure out who I'm going to pick here tonight. I really like this guy right here, Chris Simon, to win it. I'm always torn. This is why I can't bet. But I always have like 3 drivers in my head that I think are going to win it.
So you're even going below me. I got Josh Culley starting in 14th. You're going Chris Simon starting in I believe 20th.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his warm-up times here and kind of seeing what he's putting down. Looks like he's trying out for a race pace, and it looks pretty good, pretty consistent, has a good line. I know he can run tracks like this pretty well. But that is going to be... I'm picking 3. I'm sorry, I'm picking 3.
Okay.
I picked Justin McMahon for the past like 3 weeks. He's gotten so close. I'm riding with Justin McMahon this one. This is a Group 6 156 again. This is a home track for him. He's qualified up there at the front, had a lot of good runs recently. I've got Justin McMahon again tonight. I'm also wanting to pick...
I like it.
I also want to pick Eric Warman.
Eric Warman for a top 3?
Eric Warman for a top 3. Fell down 1 spot in the points last week, looking to build it back up. Needs a good run tonight. I think he knows how to save his tires, save that car, and get there to the front. And I'm also going to put Chris Simon up there as well. I do not think Jamie Horn, Andrew St. Cyr, I'm sorry to all the fans out there in the comments, I don't think they finished the top 3 tonight.
I cannot say that I would confidently make that bet, but I like where your head's at. Definitely looking for a mix of a night here, but we are getting these guys gridded up, and we are getting ready to get this thing underway for the Group 6 Cup Series 156. Again, this is the 4th race in our playoffs here. Already been grid them. Alrighty. Before we get this thing started, let's go ahead and cut you over to the grid here so you can see where your drivers are starting out. Again, Jamie Horn going to be taking the pole position here tonight. And that number 98 machine starting alongside him is going to be BMP driver Kevin Thompson in that number 6 machine. Starting in 3rd place, you are going to have the 24 car of Justin McMahon. You can see the Group 6 sponsor on the car. Like John just said, this is a home track for him, looking for him to have a big night here tonight. Eric Warman's 31 car going to be starting in 4th place tonight, another one of John's picks for top 3. Our fearless leader, Daniel Wilkerson, going to be starting in 5th place in that 28 car. Gary Clune going to be starting in 11th, another Team BMP driver starting in 6th place. Stephen Bonomo going to be starting in 7th tonight. The 71 Red Bull car of Adam Thompson going to be starting in 8th. Tyler Millette is going to be starting in 9th position tonight. Mark Dumont is going to be starting in 10th. Joshua Hart is going to be getting the 11th place start tonight. Had a very fast car over the past couple of weeks. Andrew St. Coeur, your 2nd place driver in the points, going to be starting in 12th. And Richard Leclerc is going to be starting in 13th. That is the last of your qualified drivers. It will go by iRating after that, where you will have Josh Culley, Brett McCoy, Nick Atwood, Adam Gardner, Chris Simon, Bill Gentry, and Gary Armijo. Look at that timing. The pace car is off. It's made the hard left turn, and these guys are going fast. Green flag here in the Group 6 Cup. Group 6 156. Jamie Horn off to a great start, but look at Kevin Thompson on that high side. Oh, Kevin Thompson loose. Kevin Thompson hard into the inside wall. Caution flag is out. We've got a parking lot. Oh, no.
We just talked about it prior, too, about how coming out of that corner is going to be so tough, especially on these fresh tires. I'm not sure how much damage Kevin Thompson took there. Trying to find the start of all this.
Saw Kevin go around, getting to the inside wall. I'm not sure if he bounced back up, but I just cut back and heard the parking lot happening behind these guys. And it sounded like some pretty serious impact, so I think, unfortunately, that could be the end of the night for some of these drivers. And so early, too.
Ooh, that was a hard hit into the wall by Kevin Thompson there.
He came into the corner so well. He was up there on that high side, was flying up there, immediately gained all that space back that Jamie Horn had just gotten, taken off on the green flag. He spins down, gets down in there into the wall.
Yeah, the Joshua Hart getting a little bit loose coming into turn 3 there. Gets in front of Nick Atwood, Josh Culley. Josh Culley gets into Adam Gardner. Bill Gentry goes around. Leclerc squeezes through. Armijo squeezes through. Ooh, Armijo really squeezed through. I want to go back and watch that. Gary Armijo picking up the win in the recruitment race for the Doghouse ARCA series of the night at Daytona. See if we can hop inside the cockpit right here with Gary Armijo coming around here. Woo! Just navigating through there. Nice drive.
Look out, boys. He's got to do some driving. Look like some of those drivers, unfortunately, took quite a bit of damage. Looks like Kevin Thompson has already gotten it off of pit road, trying to catch back up to the field. Josh Culley still on pit road, getting some damage repaired. Adam Gardner back out on the track as well. Looks like Joshua Hart has gone ahead and called it a night here. No longer in the session. Currently going to be sitting in 20th position. Looks like most everybody has gotten it gridded back up. Josh Culley just now coming off of pit road here. I didn't think he took too much damage. It looked like Kevin Thompson took a hard hit on that initial turn that he had. It looked like Bill Gentry and Adam Gardner caught a pretty decent amount of damage as well. But we are back underway. It is going to be lap 4 when we cross the stripe. Green flag racing here again at New Hampshire. Jamie Horn once again off to a big jump. Oh, almost troubled there up at the front. Eric Warman and Justin McMahon going back and forth for second place.
St. Core back there. I think that was St. Core and Tyler Millette. Tyler Millette, Chris Simon, Mark Dumont 3 wide. I'm sorry, it's Richard Leclerc.
Starting to see some of these battles open up. So Eric Warman and Justin McMahon battling for that second and third spot there right in the beginning. Adam Gardner going back to back. Boy, he's trying to go low. They're trying to get around Bill Gentry. Richard Leclerc down there on the bottom. So he's trying to get around that 29 of Brent McCoy. They're going to go back and forth here.
That left front end lifts up so much when they come into those corners.
It is crazy. I'd love to know how they got those cars set up to try to make that turn.
It's a fun track. It's just a very, very flat track.
From that caution, we started the race with 20 drivers here tonight. You're going to currently have 17 cars on the lead lap. Kevin Thompson, some feedback in the comments saying, "Oh, Kevin." It was a pretty hard hit, but some point he's actually been able to get it back out. Oh, we've got a wreck in the straightaway. Looks like Mark Dumont, looks like Steven Bonomo involved. Another yellow flag in the air here on lap 8. Just heard Andrew St. Core say to Chris Simon, "Good check there. I thought we were both going to die." I was just about to say, had 17 cars on the lead lap. Joshua Hart out of the race, but Josh Culley and Nick Atwood only a lap down. Josh Culley actually going to get his lap back here very quickly due to the caution, but let's take another look there, see what happened.
Yeah, it looks like he just got loose coming off the turn 2 there. That is Mark Dumont. And that 14 car, Andrew St. Core dives low. Steve Bonomo unfortunately gets right to the side of him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see from Mark. It looks like he was just trying to save it and get it back up on the track. Unfortunately, it was just coming up a little bit too quickly. There's going to collect Steven Bonomo. And with that, looks like there's a pretty decent amount of damage there for Mark Dumont, unfortunately. The hit Steven Bonomo took, it's one of those weird things with this car where he might only have like a minute of damage, or he might have 6 minutes. It's really hard to gauge, especially with those hits that are kind of right on the corner.
And unfortunately for this track too, like a lot of front end damage might not hurt you as much here, but you have to protect the corners of your car on this track. Any damage to those corners is going to mess up those toe links, going to mess up your not your crossbar, but your track bar in there, and it's going to really upset the car and how it handles and the way you can hold the steering wheel as you go around. So I think the main thing, you might be able to take a little bit of hits to the front, a little bit of hits to the back. I mean, you may plus or minus some downforce here or there, but really it's the corners, so you can corners of that car to get around this track. See Nick Atwood pulling off a pit road right here, thanks to Danny the drone cam.
Well, he's going to be able to get down there and get some damage repaired. Same thing for Kevin Thompson. So we have Mark Dumont still down there trying to get his damage repaired so he can get back out on the track. Josh Culley coming around. He is going to be in the back of the pack, but he does have his lap back now. Checking in on our grid, pretty similar to where we started. Jamie Horn going to be restarting in first. Justin McMahon restarting in second. Gary Clune up 3 spots right now, going to be restarting in third. Eric Warman in fourth. Adam Thompson up 3 spots, going to be restarting in 5th place.
Yeah.
Biggest mover out on the tracks could be Chris Simon, up from 20th to 9th.
I know we've said it a few times, but Gary Clune has just been impressive this year. And I mean, running up here in the top right now and looking very fast to it. Had a good run last week, currently sitting 7th in your point standings.
We're going to get this thing back underway here. Lap 12 when they cross the stripe. Jamie Horn takes the green flag here in the Group 6 156 at New Hampshire. We are back underway and racing. Eric Warman again, high side, trying to challenge for the lead. Him and Justin McMahon are going to be in a foot race there. Going out, Eric Warman going to maintain second place there. Gary Armijo sitting there waiting for his opportunity. Good battle going on right behind them as well. Adam Thompson and Daniel Wilkerson going back and forth. That's for 5th place.
Yeah, it looks like Adam's going to back off just a little bit there to get a good breaking point in. Andrew St. Cyr moving up through the pack. He wants to get in there too.
Oh, really close there in the middle of the track there. Brett McCoy, Richard Leclerc was getting each other right there in a battle for 11th and 12th. Richard Leclerc all the way on the bumper there. Oh, big slide out of Bill Gentry. That's going to cause a check. Back in the back of the pack. Looks like Adam Gardner. Going to go all the way to the bottom, almost make it 3 wide here.
3 wide right there.
He's going to go 3 wide right there. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm cringing.
You tucking your elbows in for him?
Yeah, I tuck my elbows in. Voice goes up about 3 octaves. Giving my face some extra wrinkles when I turn 50. Good racing there by those guys to come out of that in one piece. Josh Culley taking full advantage of the checkup there. Goes down to the bottom of the track, gets around 3 guys immediately. He's getting himself back up into 13th place here. We're starting to see a little bit more of that New Hampshire separation. Oh, Richard Leclerc gets into Brent McCoy there a little bit as he's trying to get around, but New Hampshire's going to be one of those tracks, we were talking about it earlier, where once you get some green flag racing, you do kind of have a lot of single file racing like this. You only see people jump out when they're really trying to pass, but that is when things get hectic because you never know what your car's going to do or what the other guy's car is going to do. That could cause something to happen. We've already seen a couple guys just really snap loose tonight hard.
Yeah, this is an open setup league too, so these guys can make the car a little bit tighter, a little bit looser if they want to. I'm surprised you're not seeing more tail-end slide coming out of turn 2. And maybe not yet, but I think it might be coming as the run goes on, trying to get more speed out of the corner. We'll actually do this. We'll cut over here to our turn 2 exit when Jamie Horn gets around here.
Speaking of speed, just saw Josh Culley fly back down to the bottom side there. He's going to get around that 29 car. Brent McCoy to move him up to 12. I just saw Adam Thompson there up near the front. Well, he was going to try to look to the low side of Daniel Wilkerson, but going to back off again for the time being. Andrew St. Cyr really working his way through the field. Same with Christopher Simon. Andrew St. Cyr already up 5 spots into 7th place. Chris Simon up 12 spots, currently sitting in 8th place, where he started in 20th.
He cannot get that pass off just yet. He is trying his best. And really, there's no need to. You have time.
Still plenty of time here tonight. Again, 156 laps going to happen tonight. Only on lap 20 here, had a couple of early cautions that slowed things down here a little bit, but luckily we've been able to make it out. Looks like we only have 2 drivers that have had some, really hefty effects here. Mark Dumont currently going to be 10 laps down, sitting in 19th position. Joshua Hart, unfortunately, had an early end to his race with that wreck on the first lap. Nick Atwood's back out on the track. He is going to be the only car 1 lap down. Josh Culley just made another pass. He is around the 117 of Richard Leclerc. He's going to be up into 11th place. Well, then we have another battle starting right behind your race leaders there. Andrew St. Cyr looking to try to get around Adam Thompson. Same for Christopher Simon. Both those guys been flying their way to the front. Daniel Wilkerson doing a really, really good job maintaining his position, hitting his lines consistently, time in, time out. You talked about that right before the race started and how important that's going to be. As we say that, Adam Thompson gets really close to the bumper of Daniel Wilkerson. They heard him come over the radio, apologize. You got to wonder at this point, I wonder like how much these guys are pacing a little bit. Maybe they're just trying to kind of get their feet back under them after those early cautions, or if they're trying to make sure they still have some tires underneath the car to make a push for those stage points on lap 39.
Yeah, the stage is coming up pretty quickly. Got stages at lap 39 and 78 tonight. Kind of a shorter race than what we're used to here. Only 156 miles. I think it rolls off the tongue a little bit easier to say Group 6 156.
It does. It's nice.
Good call on them to name it that and go for that one. Also, just want to give another big old shout out to Group 6 for being our series sponsor and also sponsoring this race here tonight at New Hampshire.
The Double Dip sponsor is much appreciated, and again, as always, you can also see the Group 6 logo week in and week out on that 24 car at Justin McMahon's that's sitting up there in 3rd place right now.
It's a nice looking car. I know I've told them that before.
It's just a really timeless look, I think. I mean, I feel like you could see that on a track any given Sunday, and a lot of the guys in the Group 6 Cup Series have some really, really cool paint schemes, which talk about before, we're kind of suckers for a good paint scheme out here. And you can even see some of them that came directly from us.
Like this one right here.
Like that one right there.
And I mean, if the feds are listening, we did not put 50 extra horsepower in his car.
Yeah, the post-race, you can ignore that. Nothing happened. That's just Jamie talking. He didn't say anything. He didn't mean it. It was jokes. It was memes.
Look, we are strictly cosmetic.
100%. Just don't read the fine print.
Let's see if we can hop on board with Jamie Horn here. See how he's handling this track. You see him going down to 3rd gear right there. Probably pop back out to 4th here. Don't think he'll actually get up to a 5th gear on this track. Yeah, keep it a nice little 4-gear setup, little downshift, get some engine brake, get a little bit of rotation. He's going to ride that seam to help the car rotate just a little bit more. Punches it out, keeping that wheel straight. That is textbook driving there by Jamie Horn.
Checking in on some of the other drivers around the track. Starting to see a lot more separation now at this point. Now that we've had some green flag laps here. We'll be coming up on lap 29 here in just a second. The closest battle is definitely going to be that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th positions there. Like Steve Bonomo back out on the track after Peter on the incident earlier. He's back up into 9th place. Just got around that number 94 of Tyler Millette. Kevin Thompson looking like he's got the wheels back under that thing as well. He's coming in quickly on that number 4 car of Bill Gentry. And we've seen some pretty hard hits tonight, but not really, it doesn't seem like any of it, not too much damage that's really affecting these cars.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising because sometimes these cars feel like they're made of paper mache and sometimes it feels like they're made like stone, but sometimes they drive like you're driving a stone. You can even imagine what that's like, but I know that's going to be a big frustration here tonight as these guys continue on. Andrew St. Clair getting around Adam Thompson. Adam Thompson trying to push through.
Ooh. What a battle those guys have going on there. Daniel Wilkerson has been doing such a good job of hitting his marks. Made it really tough for those guys to get around, but it's looking like Andrew St. Clair is going to try to get around this time by. It looks like Adam Thompson's going to try to follow along with him. Chris Simon going to dive down on the inside as well.
Talk about good paint schemes. I like Chris Simon's car a lot. And I know I've mentioned that before, but just like a 3-color car, red, white, and black.
Just heard Adam Thompson come over the radio. So that was some really fun driving, talking to Andrew St. Clair and Chris Simon, Daniel Wilkerson there. Andrew said, I don't know how much fun that was. I'm scared to death. Got Brandon Trush in the comments saying, go 23. Oh, never mind. Don't have Brandon Trush in the pack racing with us today. Hopefully get him back in here with us. Next week, been really fun. Brandon joined the Race League a little bit late, but still made a big push for the playoffs. Been really, really fun to watch him go around the track this year. You can usually find Kathy Trush in the comments cheering right alongside B-Mac in there. And thank you to everybody for all the comments. Got B-Mac in there right now. Come on, number 12, moving on up. Andrew St. Clair currently up 7 positions, up to 5th place now. Trying to close in on his teammate Gary Clune there, as well as Justin Mann. They are only about 0.3 of a second behind. As we are starting to approach our first stage here.
Yeah, Gary
Does look like Jamie Horn's going to be good.
Gary Clune was really reeling them in over the past 6 laps, but kind of fell back there, brings it back a little bit closer.
Another thing that we haven't talked about a whole lot is, I mean, it just seemed like Jamie Horn and Eric Warman have completely taken off from the pack. Justin McMahon over 6 seconds behind the race lead right now. But Eric Warman did a really, really good job of kind of staying there within shooting distance of Jamie Horn. Been right at about a second behind for about the last 15 laps here. And Jamie is going to be coming up on some lap traffic here. So he's got Mark Dumont and Nick Atwood right in front of him that he's going to be catching here in the next lap or two.
Yeah, Andrew St. Clair making that pass right now around his teammate Gary Clune. Trying to seal the deal here. He'll be able to slide up and take that position, I believe, coming out of this corner. Ooh, Gary Clune a little bit into the wall.
Adam Thompson trying to get along right in there as well. That close racing at New Hampshire is stressful, man.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, what a battle. How much fun is that to watch? But at the same time, with all the cars that we've seen kind of snap loose here tonight, that is just so sketchy. But these guys obviously know what they're doing a lot better than I do. Looks like Justin McMahon got a little bit loose there. That's going to let Andrew St. Clair get around. Gary Clune's going to try to make a pass here as we are coming up on our first stage. It will be after they cross the stripe on lap 39. So it is still anybody's game to get some extra points here. Chris Simon trying to make a late push to get around Justin McMahon there as well. He is going to complete that pass. That is going to get Chris Simon into the top 6 here. And there is our first stage of the race here tonight on lap 39. Congratulations to Jamie Horn, Eric Warman, Andrew St. Clair, Gary Clune, Chris Simon, Justin McMahon, Adam Thompson, Daniel Wilkerson, Steve Manomo, and Tyler Millette for the bonus points for the playoffs. Every point matters here, especially as late in the game as this is. And you got to think about it from these drivers' perspective. Every stage that Jamie Horn wins It's just kind of another nail in the coffin of Jamie Horn taking home this championship. He's already won the last 2 races here in the playoffs. And another stage win here is just helping to increase that lead. But Andrew St. Cyr currently in 2nd place in the points, is a man on a mission right now. Got a little ways to go, about 7 seconds behind your race leader, but do not count him out at all. We still got a lot of racing left to do here tonight. We are going to start having to see some pit stops here before too awful long as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what lap they're going to have to pit on. I'm not sure what the fuel capacity is for these cars tonight. I know when I got out here and tried to do a little test earlier, I was sitting at about 100 laps at 100% capacity, and I know they toned that down just a little bit to make it a little bit more strategy. I can't imagine these guys going more than 50 laps. Maybe more than 65 laps, I should say. But I mean, I'm not trying to put words into Jamie Horn's mouth. I don't know what he's thinking. But to know that Eric Warman has only lost about a second and a half behind me, and knowing how well Eric Warman adapts during the race, I would be scared. Maybe scared is not the right word. A little bit nervous to wonder what Eric Warman's got up his sleeve.
I think nervous would probably be a word that would be more preferred.
Yeah, that's the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, Eric Warman just adapts so well as the run goes on. He always gets a little bit faster, a little bit stronger as the run continues, almost like he's learning the track even more with each lap.
Oh, 100%. This is definitely going to be an exciting end to this race. And like you said, you're going to see kind of a lot of different things happen as the race goes on. You're going to see people switching their lines. You're going to see people switching their brake points. Maybe they find out that they were burning their tires up a little bit too much. And New Hampshire is one of those tracks where if you burn your tires up too much, it is going to play a huge role in how you are able to run the car. Because it's not only going to kind of change where you have to turn and what line you can run, that's also going to affect how quickly you can get back in the throttle, which is such a huge deal. At New Hampshire, you'll get that straight line speed once you come out of the exit of the turn and get back on. That's how you're able to pass. That's how you're able to stay in front of people. And if you're starting to get on old tires, it's going to get slippery out there. It's going to be so tough to get back into the throttle and not just absolutely send yourself into the grass. Back towards the back of the pack right now, it's like Kevin Thompson has just gotten around the number 4 of Bill Gentry. That's going to get Kevin back into the top 12 after being involved in one of those early cautions here tonight. Josh Culley up there in 10th place, trying to challenge the 94 of Tyler Millette, trying to get further inside the top 10 there. Like Daniel Wilkerson there in the 28 car got a little bit loose.
Yeah, I'm going to cut back just for a second here as Just McMahon tries to get around Richard Leclerc. I was showing that Just McMahon entered pit row, but I think he just did clip that line there. I don't know if we already had our first run of pit stops going or not, but Eric Warman's starting to fall back just a little bit now, 2.2 behind your leader, Jamie Horn. Andrew St. Cyr sitting about 4.8 behind Eric Warman. Behind him and about 2 seconds behind him, his teammate Gary Clune and Chris Simon right behind him on his heels. Adam Thompson making a run trying to catch up with Chris Simon.
100%. Another thing that I'm kind of noticing here is, I mean, obviously we've seen pretty much everybody from third on back be a pretty good ways behind Jamie Horn and Eric Warman, but we've seen a couple guys kind of lose a pretty good amount of ground here over the last couple laps. Justin McMahon and Daniel Wilkerson both running up there inside the top 5 for a really good portion of the beginning of this race. Now both of them 15 and 16 seconds back on the leader respectively, running at 7th and 8th. And it's looking like the 94 of Tyler Millett and Josh Culley are going to be trying to get around Daniel Wilkerson. I almost tried to split the gap there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go high side there.
Tyler Millett elected to go on the low side, and it looked like Josh Culley there was going to set it up top, make it 3 wide, make Daniel Wilkerson the meat in the sandwich there. But I think Josh Culley thought a little bit better of that idea, decided to back off and go back down to the low side, but they are both going to complete that pass. That's going to move Daniel Wilkerson back to the 10th place position, Tyler Millett up to 8th, Josh Culley into 9th.
I will say Andrew St. Cyr has been making up some time here recently.
I was going to say, I actually looked, it was about 2 laps ago. He was about the same distance back that he had been, right at 7 seconds. But here, just over the last like 2 or 3 laps, he's actually cut that by almost half a second. Pretty good pace to be making up, especially this late in a green flag run. Lap 54 here. Coming up on 102 laps left to go here tonight. I believe that last lap, Jamie Horn ran a 30.2. Andrew St. Cyr, the 30.1.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Clune running a 30.12 there as well.
These guys are starting to get into some lap traffic, starting to maybe lap some guys as well that had been currently running on the lead lap. So now we only have 13 cars on the lead lap. The person in the position to get their lap back at this point would be Gary Armijo in that number 7 car. Kevin Thompson going to be the next one in danger of going a lap down to Jamie Horn. So Richard Leclerc is going to bring it down pit road here. I just saw him pop the ball pretty hard. He was there right behind Gary Armijo, actually. So we're currently going to have 13 cars on the lead lap right now. Gary Armijo in that left dog position right now to get his lap back. He's joined 1 lap down by Adam Gardner in the 56, Brent McCoy in the 29. Richard Leclerc's currently going to be 2 laps down, but he is also on pit road. I'm not sure if he's just getting some damage repaired or if it's just a planned pit stop. He's going to go a couple more laps down here. We also got Nick Atwood out there in 18th place. He's currently going to be 5 laps down. Mark Dumont going to be 11 laps down in 19th place. You can actually see Mark Dumont right there in front of Andrew St. Cyr. Still sitting in 3rd place. Still about 6.4 seconds behind the leader. He is still running slightly faster laps than your race leader, Jamie Horn.
Kind of wonder what kind of pit stop adjustments these guys are looking at making as they're coming through. There's a few things you can do to the car, including air pressure in the tires. You can also adjust what's called the spring offset from the left rear and the right rear side. Pretty much increasing or decreasing the ride height in the back of the car, and makes the car a little bit looser, a little bit more tight. I would imagine some of these guys are a little bit more loose. They could also probably loosen up that car just a little bit on entry by decreasing that right front air pressure as well. Not sure if that's something they're willing to do.
Buddy, you want to see a good save, go back to right at the entry of turn 3, lap 58. Josh Culley. Big save on what could have been a night ender. Speaking of broadcast partner goes to try to find a replay. Josh Culley able to make that pass to get into 9th place.
Yeah, those little hits too, especially as you're getting back into the throttle. Your wheel is not completely straight. Here at this track, when you're getting more and more into the throttle, it can upset that car a lot, and tiny little hits can send you flying, spinning, circling, all of them.
I was gonna say that was actually going to be my point. Was like, I've seen cars hit way harder than that, and it almost seems like nothing happens. But it looked like Justin Amanda and Josh Culley just barely got together there, and Josh Culley was about to be on the wrong kind of an 8-second ride there.
You got Daniel Wilkerson bringing it down pit road now. Daniel, the admin from Saraland, Alabama. There's a good song about that place.
Saraland, Alabama?
Yeah, it's by a band called Muscadine Bloodline. Pretty good. Check them out.
Are they talking about Saraland, Alabama in that song?
I believe so. But you know, I could be wrong.
I don't know too many other Saralands, but I also frankly don't know much about the state of Alabama.
You ever heard of
Other
Nick
than I hate
Saban?
their football fans.
Let me tell you about Nick Saban, Dr. Pepper, and oatmeal cream pies.
I am a diehard South Carolina Gamecocks fan, so Alabama has been the bane of my existence for the majority of my life. So it does bring me a little bit of pleasure to see the Kalen DeBoer era not going, I think, as well as maybe some had hoped. It cannot be worse than what Billy Napier's doing down in Florida.
Yeah, but Nick Saban just brought a whole class of discipline to his school, and I think that's what made them very unique and very good, and kind of translate that back here to racing. I think that's kind of the thing you have to have here tonight, being patient, making the right passes, a little bit of discipline, a little bit of patience as you come around this track, and make sure you're hitting your marks correctly, not trying to push it too hard when you don't really need to. You're seeing guys like Eric Corman, Jamie Horn doing just that tonight. St. Cyr catching up a lot. Kind of falling back here in the past few laps. I've seen him get a little bit loose coming out of the corners.
You also got these guys that are starting to deal with some lap traffic as well. They're at the point now where they're kind of cycling back into themselves at this point. And you got Gary Armijo now down a lap, and Adam Gardner, Brent McCoy. All those guys currently going to be down laps right now. Steve Bonomo going to be in some danger of going a lap down here. Actually, as he does, he brings it down pit road. Got a comment in here from HEO. Hunter being for real about South Carolina and Bama is funny. I love it. Hey, man. I love NASCAR. I love NASCAR so much. iRacing, community, I love everything about it. I can fully admit that my first love was South Carolina Gamecocks football, and that has been maybe one of the seminal sources of my general depression.
Yeah, I mean, it builds character for sure.
I don't know why my dad couldn't have liked one good sports team. I mean, I was raised a South Carolina Gamecocks fan, a Carolina Panthers fan, a Charlotte Hornets fan, and then at least thank God we were Braves fans, which was obviously not great for a whole bunch of years, but at least we got 2021 to look back on and give me some warm fuzzies at night when the cold fall of football sets in and all of my teams still suck.
Yeah, how you feel about Alabama is how I feel as a Panthers fan about the rest of the NFL, because that's just kind of that's what it feels like every week.
Just, oh no, it's happening again.
Until the week I decide to pick up the Falcons defense and start them because they're playing the Panthers, and then the Panthers will win 30-0.
Yeah, then that's all of a sudden Bryce Young remembers why he won a Heisman. Got another Panthers fan in the comments here. I'm so sorry. It's a nightmare out there. But what is not a nightmare is the race that Jamie Horn has been having, pretty much going wall to wall at this point as we come into lap number 72. Gonna be almost halfway through this thing here. Eric Warman's still holding consistently about 3.5 seconds behind in second place. So Andrew St. Cour's lost a little bit of time, about 7.7 seconds back at this point. Do have to wonder when these guys are going to start bringing it down pit road. I mean, pit road cycles are going to get a little bit hairy at this point because, I mean, you've got from 10th place on back going to be a lap down right now. 8th and 9th, they're not far off from it. Josh Culley, oh, yellow flag. Justin McMahon around in the middle of the track. We try to figure out what happened there. Got another comment in here saying Jonathan picked the defense who's playing the Panthers every game from now on.
You know, it's not a bad strat. It's really not. And also, if you ever want a player to hit a home run in a baseball game, just tell me to bet on them that they will hit a home run. While we are pacing under here and can get a little sidebar, there was one year, last year, year before last year, I think 2023, where Matt Olson was on an absolute tear. I mean, he was averaging like 1.2 home runs a day until I placed a bet on him every single day to hit a home run. And from the day I started, he did not hit a home run for 3 weeks. Until the day I did not do it, then he hit his home run.
Yeah, that was a tough year.
And now
So we have some
I'm not out here betting like $50 or anything. It was like $1 bet every time, you know. Like I'm a very high reward, low risk kind of guy.
Yeah, it was one of those things where instead of a Snickers bar today, I think I'm gonna hope for a Matt Olson home run instead.
Yeah.
At least if Matt Olson hits a home run, that's gonna serve me better in the long run than the Snickers bar will.
Absolutely.
Which is also getting dangerously close to what is sounding like an endorsement. We do not endorse that. Hey YouTube, we don't endorse that.
Who we do endorse,
Hey, children
though,
watching.
is Group 6 and their endorsement in us for the Doghouse Racing League
Wholeheartedly.
here. Love some Group 6.
Again,
Tell us about Group 6 real quick.
I'd be happy to. Again, big, huge shout out to Group 6. Double dipping on the sponsorship tonight. They've been really good to us all year. Continue to sponsor. Unfortunately, their guy, Just McMahon, did get involved. In that caution, there doesn't look like there's too much damage, but for those at home, Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com and see how they can drive your digital success. Again, special thank you to Group 6 for being the series sponsor and the race sponsor this year and this race. I hope while I was doing that, you were getting some really good B-roll of Justin McMahon's car.
Absolutely, I was.
There we go. Good job. Well done.
I actually put in a little bit of... I always put in a lot of effort on these cams, but I put in a little bit extra effort tonight. So we can go back and reflect on this good old Group 6 156 as we're about to get going green here again.
I was about to say, speaking of effort, it's about to be an effort for these guys on fresh tires again as we get restarted.
Gary Clune looking fast on that high-sized teammate. Andrew St. Cyr right below him. Let's see if we can pop in with Andrew St. Cyr here. Good old cockpit cams featuring for the first time tonight in the Group 6 156 here at New Hampshire. Hopefully we get some more coming to you in the next coming weeks. I know a lot of guys are just getting used to it. And St. Cyr wants that pass on the inside. Some kind of bad there.
Just looking for it. He's trying to get that position away from Eric Worman, who's pretty much had that second place spot all night long.
Don't think he's going to do it this time by, which means Jamie Horn's going to take this stage. Eric Worman in second place. Andrew St. Cyr going to take third in this stage.
Wouldn't the stage officially happen again? Or am I talking out of my rear?
The stage was at lap 78, so as soon as they cross it to make it 79.
I was talking out of my rear. Good to know. Not the first time, won't be the last.
Just never admit to it. That's the only thing.
Well, we've had a couple of those, and this year where I just kind of bumble my way into being right about something. And then, what a professional would do with someone that's broadcasting a race so that people can not only watch live, but also go back and watch. What you do is kind of pat yourself on the back, play that one off. I'm a professional. I got this. And I feel like every time just be like, that was good, and it feels dishonest. Yeah, that was a screw up, but it just worked out. We landed on our feet. We came rolling in a ball of dust, hair all messed up, beat up and bloody, but like, hey, it looked cool coming in.
It's like throwing a Hail Mary, you know? You don't expect them to land, but when you do, everybody's shocked, but you have to act like you did it on purpose.
Absolutely. But what would not have been a Hail Mary is picking Jamie Horn to do well in this race here tonight. 10 points for that one, won it on the books. But we talked about it before, and I know a lot of times we don't want to pick the guy that gets the pole position just because it feels cheap. But kind of week in and week out, we talk about the guys really performing well who are consistent, especially a track like New Hampshire. Consistency really is going to be key. And I mean, just in and out every single lap, exactly hitting their marks. And I think that's why you see this top five being what it is right now. I mean, these are all five guys who are just incredibly consistent. Yellow flag in the air. It's like Gary Armijo into the wall hard. I think Adam Gardner might have just barely dodged it. That is going to bring out our fourth yellow flag tonight, just after our second stage here on lap 83. Again, congratulations to Jamie Horn for taking the second stage as well.
We got to go back and watch that again, because that car, like, it just snapped on Gary Armijo. That is crazy, actually.
It's like Richard Leclerc getting involved in that as well. That is going to cinch these guys right back up and get back to battling.
That just goes to show you, you gotta be driving with your toes here on that throttle, man. And I don't think it was anything wrong. I know you can hit a few bumps sometimes and it causes your car to pick up as you're hitting the throttle, but it's like as soon as Armijo was getting back into the throttle, just barely, the thing spun right around on him.
Hopefully he's able to get out of that without too much damage. Interesting pit road strategy here. So I saw it where it looks like pretty much most of the leaders gonna be staying out. Couple guys did bring it down who were already a lap down. I see Nick Atwood, I see Brent McCoy, Adam Gardner bringing it down. Gary Armijo obviously down there getting some damage repaired. Josh Culley brought it down.
He may still have some damage he's trying to repair there. I'm not sure. That front end does look a little bent up, just a little bit.
We're trying to get that cinched up, and he would only be about 4 positions in front of where he would be if he does start at the tail end of the longest line there. So might be a good strategy for Josh to go ahead down there, get the last little bit of that damage repaired. Saw Mark McRae in the comments saying, look at that concentration back at Andrew St. Core's camera. That guy is locked in, man. But the restarts tonight have been anything but calm or collected. Had a lot of chaos out here tonight. Been good to have some good long green flag runs as well, though. Get to kind of see all the different strategies that these drivers can work out here at New Hampshire as we are coming into lap 87 here of 156. No more stages here tonight, just racing all the way through. Jamie Horn gonna restart on the high side in first place, and they are gonna take the green flag here. Gonna make it lap 87 here at New Hampshire for the Group 6 156. Heard Eric Mormon come over the radio say he missed his shift a little bit, so that was it. Slowed things down just a little bit on the low side. Really tight racing there. Eric Moore on the low side of Gary Clune, Andrew St. Cor, Adam Thompson battling it out. Chris Simon looking for his opportunity. Look who is flying up here now.
Kevin Thompson in the wall. I'm trying to get to him. Oh. Big hit from Thompson. No yellow flag yet. He might have to tow it. He is going to tow it. No yellow.
Unfortunate to see for Kevin. Had gotten that car repaired and had been moving up pretty well, but unfortunately I think that last hit tore it up pretty good there. These guys still battling so hard right now for those 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions. Adam Thompson trying to figure out a way to get around Gary Clune, not able to get it done that time by. Josh Culley up to 8th place now. Just got around Bill Gentry.
Adam
Thompson gets loose. Able to save it, but he's going to lose so many positions there. Really, he was still wiggling as he was trying to get it back up to speed. Unfortunate for Adam Thompson. It's so fast, pretty much running in the top 5 all night long tonight. Now he's going to have a lot of work to do to get caught back up. He's now going to be 5 seconds behind the leader. In 10th place, he's going to be behind Daniel Wilkerson now, who's currently sitting in 9th.
I think if Eric Warman can find a way to get around Jamie Horn, I mean, obviously he could win the race, but early, get some of that clean air out in front, I think he's got a really good shot. I mean, up here, like cars single filed out, it is hard to pass. If you can find some way to make that pass happen earlier rather than later, you might have a good chance.
Just seemed like one of those races here again tonight where it's just there is no, once you have kind of a distance on somebody, it looks like it is so hard to actually like make that distance back up. We saw that, you know, in the earlier stages of the race when it was really just Jamie and Eric out there. No one was able to really close distance, or if they were, it was just for maybe a couple laps. We saw Andrew St. Cor back there battling. He gained a pretty good amount of time. I mean, he'd be up half a second, 0.6 of a second, and it would just kind of just dwindle right back down. It's like no one was able to get anything where you're able to make up seconds of time. Josh Culley slow on the bottom of the track.
turn 2 is getting a lot of people tonight.
It really is. That was just so slick right there. Heard Adam Thompson come over the radio just now. Said, I thought I won save of the race, but I think that's yours now.
I'm sitting here watching these two lines run by Jamie Horn, Eric Warman, and I know there's two whole schools of thought when you're setting a car up. If you want to slow in, fast out, fast in, slow out, but I always subscribe to the belief that slow in, fast out pays off tremendously. And that's exactly what Jamie Horn is doing here tonight. Able to kind of pull away on exit every single time he's coming out. It looks like Eric Warman will make a little bit of gains here as he comes in. And then on exit, he's going to lose that. All that delta he just made up right there is gone. And another thing that does too is it saves that right front as you're not braking so hard coming into the corner. I think I've mentioned this before up here sometime, but you got to imagine your car as a flat surface with a ball in the center of it. And as you're coming in here and hitting the brakes going into a corner, that ball is going to shift to your front right, just naturally. If you had a ball in the center of your car and you hit the brakes, it's going to shift to that front right, put a lot of weight up there, a lot of pressure, and burn that right front up. And eventually that tightens your car up tremendously.
I think most of these guys at this point are going to be on some newer tires, so they're maybe not having that same kind of plowing effect that you get as the tires get older and it just starts to get tighter and tighter. But either way, we've still seen people just seem like their cars just go out from under them. Something else to keep in mind here, we've talked about it, joked about it before, but it seems a lot of times like good things happen to Adam Thompson right after something bad happens to Adam Thompson. And Adam Thompson just saw him get so loose there just a few laps ago. Not a ton of time to make up what was lost there, but you do see him getting around the inside of Bill Gentry there. That's going to put Adam Thompson back into the top 7. Still has 6.4 seconds left to go to try to get caught up to those leaders. But definitely still some time to get something done there as well. Josh Culley, unfortunately, he had such a good comeback after getting involved in that early caution. He's now back in 11th, looking like he's a pretty good ways off of that pack. He's going to be 10 seconds behind the leaders. Lost a little bit more time that time by.
Checking in here with your biggest mover, Chris Simon, up 15 spots from his starting position, currently sitting in 5th place. And if he makes it to a podium interview tonight, we will ask Hunter why he ever doubted the 21 of Chris Simon.
I didn't doubt. I was just, I felt one-upped. I was like, I'm going Josh Culley, starting in 14th. He's going to have a good night tonight because logic brain. He had good practice times. And you're like, yeah, I'm going Chris Simon. He's starting last. Like, okay.
Well, to be fair,
if you want to say you're cooler than me, just say it.
To be fair, a little insider here to what I can see on my side. As soon as the qualifying session's over, we go into that warm-up session, I have no idea what position people are starting in. My screen just, it only gives me the position that there are at for warm-ups. And, so I had no idea where he was starting at.
Okay, well, that's a little more fair, I suppose.
But it doesn't matter because he is up 15 spots. He is hauling, he is wheeling, he is dealing. He's in 5th place right now, chasing down Gary Clune, trying to work his way up to a podium spot.
Adam Gardner just got really loose there in front of the leaders. That could have almost been really bad for your top 5 drivers.
Yeah, Adam Gardner is also a playoff driver right now, sitting in 18th place right now as it stands. 7 points behind Tony Martin, who is not here tonight, so he should be moving up in front of him. Moved up 1 spot last week. 281 points behind the leader, Chris Simon. We were just talking about only 15 points behind Eric Warman, who's having a fantastic night, but 146 points behind your leader.
Oh, Gary Clune into the wall hard. He absolutely stuffed the wall. Chris Simon's on the inside. It looked like Gary was just trying to round it back out. And it looked like that thing just snapped into the wall on him.
Eric Warman's still hanging about 6/10 back behind your leader right now.
Another slow car on the high side. Gary Armijo up there hugging the wall.
Kind of want to do a quick little walk through of our guys behind the top 5. Tyler Millette, have not talked about him much tonight. He's just having a solid night, kind of keeping quiet. Got a really clean car out there, keeping his nose clean, trying to get some points. He is currently a playoff driver, trying to move up. Right behind him, Adam Thompson. That 71 car was in a little bit of trouble earlier tonight. Some view that as a bad thing. Adam Thompson generally views it as a great thing, and that could help him out. Just McMahon, 8th place, still fighting his way back from that early trouble that he had tonight. He's already back on the lead lap, sitting in 8th place, currently 5 spots down from where he started at tonight, but has a fast car. Got the Group 6 on the side. I expect him to keep moving up towards the front. Behind him, Bill Gentry. We've talked about him a lot recently, about how much speed he's been putting out on the track. So he gets a little bit loose there, coming out of 2 right in front of Daniel Wilkerson. Daniel sitting in that 10th place. Steven Bonomo behind Daniel Wilkerson, but a lap down in 12th. And your last person on the lead lap, Josh Culley. So he gets around Brett McCoy there, who is sitting in 13th. Got Gary Armijo in 14th. He comes out of turn 2 right now. Right behind Gary Clune, see Adam Thompson getting around Tyler Millette. And behind them, Adam Gardner. Gardner sitting in 15th place tonight. Nick Atwood in 16th place. Richard Leclerc in 17th. And Mark Dumont, his teammate, currently in 18th place tonight. I got Kevin Thompson still sitting in the pits. Joshua Hart got involved in that early caution. He is out for the night.
I think Kevin Thompson called himself out of the race pretty quickly after that second caution. I mean, he caught that wall that second time. It looked like he was trying to take the whole front end off the car. So, unfortunately, the end of Kevin Thompson's night after making a really good comeback earlier in the night from one of those earlier cautions that we had. But we are starting to close in on the end stages of this race. And one of the things I'm kind of noticing right now is that, well, while Jamie Horn does still definitely have a really good lead right now, I mean, he's got 7/10 on Eric Warman and just over a second on Andrew St. Cour. First of all, look at Andrew St. Cour trying to get caught up to Eric Warman here. Andrew St. Cour trying to fight his way into second place, take that second away from Eric Warman, where he's pretty much been all night long. But they are a lot closer to Jamie Horn than what Jamie's probably used to for most of the night. As I said, it looks like Jamie Horn steps on the gas a little bit, pulls away just a little bit. I think, again, kind of what you were talking about earlier, you're kind of seeing the tale of two strategies there. Looks like Eric and Andrew are both a lot faster on entry, but Jamie Horn just getting so much speed so quickly as soon as they hit that straightaway.
Yeah, we just showed Jamie Horn's cockpit cam there as he's coming around these corners, and he is using what like an H pattern shifter, which for people that are unfamiliar with the sim racing of iRacing, I don't know about most. Maybe because my cognitive bias, I would say most people use sort of paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel. And Jamie Horn out here ripping an H pattern shifter right beside him to his right-hand side. And
Which,
I mean,
fun fact, if you ever go to one of these tracks where they let you get behind the wheel of a race car, those also have the H shifters. And if you're someone, I'm not gonna name names here, who the last time you drove a stick shift was a 4-on-the-floor Jeep, you might just try to burn it out in pit road. It's me. I'm unnamed people.
is burn it out synonymous for stall it out?
It sounded cooler, but yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Horn looks
Lead
calm.
in, but someone who is not stalling. Dang it, you got this.
Looks calm and collected back there, not stalling out a bit.
Yep, that was where I was going.
Yeah, I kind of stole that one from you. I was kind of cut you off. Want to make it blend just a little bit better. You guys know here at Doghouse Racing TV, we pride ourselves on transitions. If we can't do anything else, if Hunter makes up random stuff, we can get a transition down.
Trying to make me stalling out in pit lane sound just a little bit cooler, but looks like Jamie Horn's starting to pull away just a little bit here now. 1.4 seconds over Eric Warman now, almost 2.5 seconds on Andrew St. Clair. That just happened over the course of the last 2 laps.
Pretty sure I got that on video, and I'm pretty sure I can add it to our next broadcast.
I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't like that.
Well, Johnny works the controls, so we'll see what happens next week.
Oh, no.
Guys starting to space out just a little bit here. A lot more single file racing, just trying to protect that car. I'm not sure if they'll have to pit one more time as I pull up the pit stop laps here. We'll take a look. Lap 74 was what they went to last time, able to stretch it all the way. And I mean, that's going to be very close. If that's how much they can get out of a car 74 laps, that's going to be very close.
Also, for those of us at home who do care about the baseball, and maybe you're not split screening us with the baseball game, the Yankees just took a 2-0 lead over the Boston Red Sox. Not a Yankees fan. Do want the Yankees to win this game.
I know somebody who is not happy about that.
Who is that?
It would be our presenting sponsor tonight from Group 6, located in that New England area. I believe Justin McMahon is a Boston Red Sox fan, if I'm not mistaken.
It'd be really funny if he's a Yankees fan. But got Brandon Trush in the comments saying, yeah, Tiger's moving on today. That did not work well with my particular placing currency on something in hopes for more currency in the future. It didn't work for me in that regard, but congratulations on your Tigers moving forward. Someone who's continuing to move forward is Jamie Horn, just continuing to increase that gap between him and Eric Warman and Andrew St. Clair. Almost 2 seconds on Eric Warman now, little over 3 seconds on Andrew St. Clair here as we come into the closing stages of this race here. Lap 122 of 156, only 33, excuse me, forgot how to speak there for a second, 33 laps left to go. So when did these guys come down pit road last? So they last pitted on
Lap 74.
which for a lot of these guys was their first pit stop.
For just about all of them, except for Justin McMahon and Daniel Wilkerson in the top 10. Everybody else came down lap 74, so I mean, they're going to be pushing to about lap 148, leaving them 8 laps shy, and I don't know if they came in early because of that, just because the caution was there, and like it's probably a good time to do it. If they can push it further, we're definitely going to find out here. Andrew St. Court getting around the lap car of Richard Leclerc. Chris Simon going to follow suit here right behind. If he can get to him in the corner, probably not. He does. He gets him. I was thinking he was going to wait till the next quarter, maybe fall back in line and get him the next time around.
Battle going on here right now. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Adam Thompson, Gary Clune, Justin McMahon. One after the other right there. So Adam Thompson looking to the inside of Gary Clune, trying to get that position. Look how low Justin McMahon's taking it.
Yeah, we've seen that out of the real-life NASCAR races. Seen some of those guys try that strategy there. And I've seen Justin McMahon do that a few times tonight, especially coming out of this corner here. Get it very straight coming off.
Woo!
About to go 3 wide there. They want to get 3 wide right here.
Yeah, Gary Clune went all the way up to the top. I'm not sure if he meant to do that or if he started plowing just a little bit on some older tires. Look at Adam Thompson there, going to be able to split the gap, get around both of them. Oh! Gary Clune gets into the wall a little bit there. Justin McMahon almost gets caught up in it as well.
Yeah, I think that's more of the hardest parts about this track and other tracks like Bristol and Dover. It's not really as scary getting behind somebody and getting close to their bumper around a corner or going into a corner. I think the scariest part for me especially is coming out of a corner, because you can't really see what's to your right-hand side. You're trusting that that guy is going to be up there and not hit the wall, or not hit the wall and bounce back down towards you. So good job on Gary Clune and Justin McMahon to battle that one out there. I mean, hitting the wall is inevitable. I think every driver in this league has done it at least 50 times this season, coming out of a corner. And I'm willing to put the mortgage on that one. But it's how you control it after you hit the wall, I think, is what separates drivers from bad and good. These guys doing a really good job of that tonight.
100%, but we are seeing these guys really separated out right now. I mean, your closest battle is going to be what you just saw there. Adam Thompson, Justin McMahon, and Gary Clune. Tyler Millette trying to get into the mix there as well. He's going to be trying to get around Gary Clune on the inside right there.
Got Brandon Trush in the comments, never bet against Detroit. And actually, you know what? Just to add on to my story from earlier, I bet on Detroit twice in this postseason. Bet against them, actually, and look what happened.
Tigers are winning the World Series. Mark it down.
That's a lot to say there, but looking at Gary Clune and Tyler Millette, I don't think they can physically go out there and throw Terrence Skubal for every game in the postseason, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it's like Tyler Millette getting around Gary Clune. Gary Clune now down 2 spots for the night. Tyler Millette back up in 7th place. Justin McMahon just ahead here, as you can see from our blimp cam. I love that line that Justin McMahon's taking, though.
That is some fun racing right there. Another fun thing as well, like, I saw HEO in the comments saying, "Let's go Yankees." Yankees just scored another 2. They're going to go up 4-0 on the Boston Red Sox. I think there's a world where being a baseball announcer would have been fun. I feel like we would have been good baseball announcers.
I don't think I had the voice for it. You know, that is honestly what I wanted to do with my life. The first career choice I ever wanted to do was be a NASCAR driver, but I don't have the money. Did not come from rich parents. And then the second thing I always wanted to do was be a analysis for a baseball team. Even went to the point one time for getting an internship with a team to work in analysis for them.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was in 2018, and they were not paying a whole lot. The salary for 1 year was $12,500. You didn't.
Big money.
$12,500. You didn't get to hang out with the team. You got to hang out with the AAA team, and that is where you were at for a whole year.
Wow.
So I turned it down and went back to school, and not went back to school. I was actually in school at the time. I finished school and Like, well, Marty and Depp might as well ride this one out.
But it's 8 years later. Still in school.
The trick is, I don't know if anybody here is looking at college. You don't have to pay back student loans if you're still in school, so just stay in school forever. I'm totally joking. The terrible idea.
Don't take that advice, kids. Unless you're gonna go become a doctor, don't do that one.
Yeah, the bank will own your house in a second. It will be the house of Wells Fargo. But Stephen Bonomo bringing it down pit road right now, currently sitting in 13th place. Jamie Horn still got a handle on this lead. Eric Orman has brought it down by about half a second here in the past few laps. Trying to pull up some deltas for you. He did bring it down almost 7/10. But now falling back just a little bit. I don't know. Eric Orman could be trying to shake things up here at the very end.
As they're saying, you know, if Eric Warman, Andrew St. Clair, guys like that are just praying that some of these lap cars hold up Jamie Horn just a little bit so they can catch up a little bit further. But everyone's been driving very, very respectfully tonight. Haven't seen any of the lap cars getting in the way or anything like that. Unfortunate for Eric Warman and Andrew St. Clair, but good for the overall racing. You're only going to have about 20 laps to go here in the Group 6 156 here in New Hampshire. Again, thank you to everyone for spending some of your Thursday evening with us. We appreciate it, and these drivers appreciate it. Again, this is the 4th race of our playoffs. We have 6 more races to go after this. Went to Bristol last week, at New Hampshire obviously tonight. And then next week we will be headed
Kansas. Don't look now. Chris Simon is kind of making a run here on Andrew St. Clair for a podium position.
Chris Simon trying to get up there and get into the interview spots. He has been really burning it down these last couple of laps. I think a little bit slower that last lap in particular, but have been really putting down some fast times over the last couple of laps. Jamie Horn looks like he's stepped on a little bit. Jamie Horn put down a 30.1 and then a 30.2 over the last 2 laps.
Like Gary Armijo going to the high side to let Andrew St. Clair and Chris Simon go through.
Make sure you join us next week as well. Same time and same place, live here only on Doghouse Racing TV. Like John said, we will be headed to Kansas next week. Kansas, always a fun one to call. And even more fun because it is the Nap Daddy Designs 201. Shameless self-promotion for those that don't know. Myself and John make up Nap Daddy Designs. And also Nap Daddy Broadcasting, which leads us to being here up in the booth with all of you wonderful people here on this fine, fine Thursday evening. I don't know about you, John, but fine evening is actually pretty realistic. It was a lovely fall day in North Carolina.
It was very nice here today too, but unfortunately I had to be inside just about all day long. Did not
Also at the
see
same time,
Bill Gentry get around Gary Clune here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
you're fine. That is more important because I was going to make a comment that it is either going to be controversial or positive depending on which side people are on here. But I believe you and me have some pretty different perspectives on fall. I'm a huge fan. I love fall. It's college football. The leaves start changing. Fall's my time of year. It starts getting cooler. Don't believe you feel that way.
I mean, I don't hate fall. I just think that everybody that says they love winter is lying. Like when they say winter is my favorite season, I think you are just going against the grain to start something.
John is also someone who could walk outside in, July 15th heat of Tampa, Florida, and be like, "This is a nice day."
Love it. Oh my gosh, that was the nicest time of my life. I never had to check the weather. You know it's going to rain every day at 2 o'clock. It's going to stop around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then it's going to be hot again. But then people that like winter, like go put some 5 gum in your mouth and walk outside on a cold winter morning.
5 gum.
Yeah, and then tell me you like winter. I don't buy it. I got a whole spiel about it. It is not as important as racing right now, but hey, if you don't believe me, wait till it's cold outside. Just put a stick of gum in your mouth when you're outside on a cold 30-degree morning, and then just go for like a walk for like 30 seconds. And then tell me how your chest pain feels.
Come talk to me when you can't feel your teeth.
Yeah.
Got Miguel in the comments saying, "Let's go, son." Christopher Simon, number 21, make a great race, make the podium. He is doing his best. Try to get up there. He was pulling in to Andrew St. Cyr. There still kind of isn't far off at all. Only about 0.6 away from the bumper of Andrew St. Cyr, but has lost a little bit of ground over the past couple of laps. We are coming into the last couple laps of the Group 6 156 here at New Hampshire. These guys are going to be battling for every single position left. Also got to see who can actually make it to the end, because at least by our math, it could be pretty daggone tight to see who's able to actually pull this thing off. Got Country Chick in the comments saying, "Let's go, Millette." Tyler Millette currently running in 7th place. He is right on the bumper of the 24 car of Justin McMahon. They both worked their way around the lap car of Mark Dumont. Ty Millette trying to get another position here, get up into 6th place, get some extra points for the playoffs.
Yeah, just as I pull away from it, Tyler Millette does get to the inside of Justin McMahon. He's going to get around him. Put himself up into 6th place.
He's not only going to complete the pass, he's going to kind of take right off after that.
And the
BMAC in the comments saying, "Come on, Andrew."
I mean, look at Tyler Millette's car. Not a scratch on it. The man has protected that car all night long.
I'm saying it's so funny you say that too, because he's currently in 6th place behind Adam Thompson and in front of Justin McMahon, both of whom involved in some cautions earlier on tonight. Jamie Horn currently still maintaining that lead out front. Got 4.3 seconds on Eric Warman and 5.5 seconds on Andrew St. Cyr. Andrew St. Cyr right now still does have his hands full with Christopher Simon, who's trying to get around him and get into the top 3. What a night for both of those guys as well.
And
Andrew St. Cyr up 9 spots.
Looking at these last lap times right here, Chris Simon running about 0.1, about 0.2 faster than Andrew St. Cyr that last lap. He is reeling him in with 6 to go. You know he's putting the foot down to try to get up there. Look at him closing in.
Seems like he's doing really well on the entry. It's like Andrew St. Cyr able to pull away just a little bit on exit, kind of to get going into that kind of the tale of two strategies here tonight. But all the while, Jamie Horn still maintaining a comfortable 4-second lead out in the front of this thing.
Yeah, Eric Warman down about 4 seconds now behind him. Had a really good race tonight. St. Cyr is bringing Eric Warman in. As you can see, try to pull up the deltas here between Eric Warman and St. Cyr. Gap's been about the same over the past 6 laps, so Warman doing a good job to protect those tires and stay out there in that 2nd place spot. Would be a really good run for him tonight. Definitely getting back the position he lost last week to Justin McMahon to go back into 5th place in the points.
Sent Richard Leclerc up into the wall. Up there on the high side is Andrew St. Cyr. And Chris Simon roll around him. There'll be just 3 laps left to go here in the Group 6 156 at New Hampshire. Not sure that anyone is going to be able to catch Jamie Horn at this point. Still plenty of other positions around on the track. Oh, Steven Bonomo goes around right behind Chris Simon. Looks like he's able to save it. But he was slow there in the middle of the track. That was almost a really big wrench thrown into this race.
Could you imagine? Oh, could you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
That might have
start going around, and I just went, oh no.
Yeah, that might have been the banana peel that Chris Simon threw out there behind him. Trying to get a caution. Needs something, but white flag is out. Jamie Horn still out front by about 4.5 seconds, bringing around turn 1 and 2.
Horn still with almost a 4.5 second lead over Eric Mormon and Andrew St. Cyr. Andrew St. Cyr still trying to hold off that 3rd place position. Keep Christopher Simon in 4th. Jamie Horn coming up on some lap traffic, but it is not going to matter. He comes down the front stretch for the final time. Jamie Horn, your winner in the Group 6 156 here at New Hampshire. Dominating from start to finish. Jamie Horn going almost wall to wall here tonight at New Hampshire. What a performance, what a race. Absolutely cementing his place at the top of the leaderboard in our playoffs. Before we hit the halfway point next week, what a run by Jamie Horn. Eric Mormon gonna finish 2nd. Andrew St. Cyr 3rd. Chris Simon gonna finish in 4th. Adam Thompson gonna come home in 5th. Jamie Horn gonna pull right up to that magic mile. Gonna pull up there, get his checkered flag, gonna burn it down, give the fans a show well deserved and earned for the 98 car of Jamie Horn. Saying, sorry, Christopher. Good job, Andrew. Congrats, Jamie and Eric. Great race. And Mark McCrae, well held, Andrew. Horn looks like he was out for a Sunday drive. Talked about it before. Consistency, a key at New Hampshire. And possibly none better at that than Jamie Horn. He even made the burnout look consistent.
Got to save the tires on the burnout a little bit.
Congratulations to Jamie Horn on the win here at New Hampshire. Eric Warman going to come home in 2nd. Andrew St. Cyr in 3rd. Chris Simon 4th. Adam Thompson is going to come home in 5th. To round out your top 10, we will pull up a full grid for you here shortly. But round out your top 10, you'll see Tyler Millett in 6th. Bill Gentry in 7th, Justin McMahon in 8th, Gary Clune in 9th, and Daniel Wilkerson going to come home in 10th. And we will have your interviews with your top 3 drivers coming right up.
And we are back. Coming up to you first for this interview, I do have your third place finisher tonight, Andrew St. Cyr. As he just gets up here to the waiting room now. I thought I saw him earlier. Andrew, you got a copy of this in the booth?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, congrats on coming in P3 tonight. Good run overall. I know this is a tough track. Talk to us about this track and how it kind of changed over the course of the run.
Yeah, it started off pretty good, pretty neutral. Felt like being back in traffic where I was to start the race. The front two there just able to pull away by the time I was able to work through traffic. But at the same time, I feel as though that I wasn't running too hard, so I was able to. I had really good long run pace. Then after we had that caution right around the midway, I came out and probably pushed a little hard and built tight fairly early, rather than just kind of backing it down like I probably did the first half of the race. And then it was really hard to find grip later in the run. The line I was running, I was kind of running the first seam, both ends, and it really just didn't do anything for me. At that last probably 40, 50 laps, I just couldn't get on throttle, and I tried to move around there a little bit, tried to run a higher line. I just didn't. With the one pit stop, I made an adjustment, but it wasn't enough of an adjustment. I was really hoping I was going to have another crack at Eric and Jamie. If we had had one more caution, I want to throw something else at it, but it was a lot of fun to have such long green flag runs, and just want to commend Jamie and Eric for such a strong run.
Absolutely, man. I know it's tough. New Hampshire is a tough track. Talk to us about the dirty air out there and if it had any impact as you were trying to catch up. It seemed like whenever a car was out front, it was just so hard to pull into them.
Yeah, I felt like that, a lot with Eric, and he just, it's just so hard to stay underneath, keep your left in clean air, your nose, and because when you get down below that first seam, you don't get any drive off. You can get good clean air going into the corner through the center, but then they just gap you on exit. So, it's really difficult to keep that nose in clean air, but also maintain a line that's going to give you a good exit speed. It's something, with Jamie up front. I mean, I do think that, I honestly think, not to take anything away from Jamie, but I think if, Eric or I had been out front in that situation, we probably would have been hard to pass as well. Not saying we couldn't have been passed, but I think that clean air was just so important, and Jamie was fortunately enough to have it for the entire run. He qualified on pole and maintained it the entire race. Kind of kicking myself. I did. I touched the wall out of, I think, 2 on my hot lap, so I just parked it, and unfortunately had to start back in 10th or 11th wherever I was, and that I kind of made my bed right off the bat, and I knew it was going to be a battle in dirty air the rest of the night.
Absolutely. You still had a good run there, moving up 9 spots to put yourself into the P3 spot. But before I let you go, any sponsors or shout outs that you would like to give?
Yeah, for sure. Thank the league. Some great racing out there tonight. Really good, hard, clean racing. I think only 2 cautions, but a couple really long runs, which is great. So great job to all the drivers. Congrats to Jamie and Eric. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Daniel, and all the other league admins, and got to thank my team, Beast Mode, and we'll come back next week strong at Kansas. Looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. Well, congrats again, and hope to see you next week at Kansas.
Yeah. Got to thank BMAC and
yeah,
Mark, my cousin Mark. He's in the broadcast or in the chat there as well. So
absolutely.
Shout out to those 2.
Yeah, cannot forget them. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, well, have a good night, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Later.
That is going to be Andrew St. Cyr finishing in third place tonight. Always giving the shout outs to the guys in the comments. Cannot ever forget that. But coming up next, I do have your second place finisher here tonight in Mr. Eric Warman. As I pull him up to the booth right now. Eric, you got a copy of this in the booth?
10-4.
Hey, Eric, you got Hunter up here. First of all, man, congratulations on a great run tonight. Really solid second place. You were up there in the front, battling it out all night long. Talk to me about how the race changed as things went on, how the track changed, and at what point did you think you might really have a run at Jamie Horn? And just kind of talk to me about how your race progressed, especially in those last maybe 50 or 60 laps.
Honestly, I was just trying to run where I could ride. I first before the left, like caution in the middle. I was just trying to run the track and just keep the car under me the best I could. And then me and Jamie were pulling away both stints from at least everybody except for maybe Andrew and a couple other guys behind him on that second stint. Just we're just trying to hold it together, and I was hoping that Andrew would end up have to fight somebody behind me, and I could pull away a little bit because I was kind of worried about him coming and catching me and passing me. To be honest with you, I was more worried about him than I was Jamie because I knew in the long run I didn't really have nothing for him.
Well, either way, man, it's still a really great night. Talking about how you were able to kind of pull away, you and Jamie, so well over the course of those kind of two different stints before and after the caution. What do you think that kind of was? Is it the clean air that was making so much of a difference? Do you think it was more how you and Jamie had your cars set up? What would you kind of chalk that up more to?
Just different driving styles. I was probably a little bit more aggressive going into the corners than he was, and I was burning up my tires probably a little bit more on that last stint. But I don't know. I got to figure out how they get so much grip, him and Andrew.
Well, either way, man, still a really good run for you tonight. Finishing in second place here, headed to Kansas next week. How do you feel about Kansas, and how do you feel about your chances there?
Well, Lord willing, we'll have a good race. So kind of in his hands. I'm just here driving the car, and he's the one really having all the talent. I'm just here.
I can definitely appreciate that. Well, hopefully you and the Lord can get that one worked out and maybe have a conversation. And we hope to see you up here in the booth with us at Kansas next week before we get you out of here. Any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
Oh, yeah. Want to thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Want to thank Premier Racing Setups. If you guys are looking for setups but need a little help, I got two setup guys that build for the next gen. And want to thank my wife and kids and the league, guys for the broadcast and all the sponsors.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you very much. Again, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight. And we will look forward to seeing you next week, Kansas.
Yeah, you guys have a great weekend.
You too, man. Take care.
Yeah, you as well.
Going to be Eric Warman finishing up second place here tonight, heading to Kansas. It's going to be a hometown track for Eric Warman, so look for him to have a very strong run going out there next week. If I remember correctly, I think Kansas is really a track for Eric, so I expect to see him back up here in the podium next week for another interview, and also moving up in the points this week as well. Coming up next, though, I do have your winner in Mr. Jamie Horn as I pull him up here to the broadcast booth. Jamie, you got a copy of us in the booth?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, congrats on the win tonight. Had a dominant car from wall to wall. First thing I want to kind of get clear here is the clean air thing. We were talking about it earlier. It seemed like it was, if you're out front by a little bit, you had, I don't know, kind of like a dominant car there. Nobody could catch up behind you. Talk to us about that clean air. I know you weren't really behind much traffic all night, but how did it make the car handle?
Yeah, I think the clean air was going to be key here. It from the practice sessions I'd done throughout the week, it seemed like if just in dirty air, it was so hard to pass. Like you would pretty much have to wait for whoever's in front of you to make a mistake or hope they make a mistake in order to be able to get around them. And I could outbrake sometimes in our practice sessions and kind of get a run, but if I mean on the outside they get such a good run off, it's tough. So I knew qualifying would be important. I'll be honest, I got tight coming out of foreign qualifying, and I never thought that lap was gonna hold the pole. And whenever I sent out the pole, I was pretty happy. And usually I don't run a start as hard as I did, but all the restarts I was running a little harder than normal just to keep that track position because I knew if I started going back, the car probably wasn't going to drive as good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Andrew St. Cor mentioned something a little bit about that earlier tonight. I know we talked about Eric Worm. If he was able to pass you maybe on lap 90, he might actually have a good shot at staying up there just because it seemed like it was so hard to catch. But also another thing was tire wear. It seems like as the run went on, you kind of got stronger there, able to maintain that tire a little bit. And we also saw you using a H pattern shifter there. Tell us how that is using that pattern shifter if you prefer that over a paddle shift.
So it's actually a sequential. It's just hard to see on my cam.
Oh, okay.
Um, but I don't know. I feel like it's more realistic for me than the paddles. I use the paddle shifters at um, road courses, and then I would use this everywhere else. And I guess coming from racing, I'm just used to that, so it just seems kind of natural to me to have that shifter there. And I don't know, I'm just kind of used to it. I enjoy it. I will be glad when we get back to a mile and a half or somewhere I don't have to shift anymore because my leg needs a break and hand from shifting every lap. So,
Well, we're
but
going to Kansas next week. I don't think there's going to be much shifting going on there. If I remember correctly, I'm not sure about how these setups will run there, but don't you shift there on the back stretch going in? Or am I thinking of something else?
I trying to remember. I haven't run any practice time since the setups come out for the track, and I don't know with the update if there will be a change in shifting. I want to say that most of the time I stayed in fourth, but at the start of runs I could go into fifth and shift back and forth. But usually tracks like that, unless I have to shift into fifth, I just stay in fourth and rock on with it that way until I'm just forced to have to shift. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Kansas. That's one of my probably top five favorite tracks. So I think it'll be fun, and I'm ready to go there. And again, thank, thankfully we will hopefully won't be shifting. If we do, it won't be near as much.
Oh yeah, I think that's gonna be like kind of like the I guess Auto Club or maybe sometimes even Vegas where you have to shift a little bit and then after a few laps you're okay to keep it in a gear there. But yeah, I can't remember. I think I might be confusing that one with Nashville where you do have to do a little bit coming around. But either way, coming in first place tonight, going to solidify your point standings there. I think you came in 70 points in the lead, the current points, and now I think you got them updated here where you're 85 points ahead of the next person. So doing a good job to maintain that. That's 3 straight for you. So congrats again on 3 straight. That's a three-peat. Looking forward to seeing you next week. But before I let you go, any sponsor shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to our series sponsor Group 6. We appreciate them for always supporting the league. Nap Daddy Racing, Shoney's Butt Kicker, um, Hunter with SSR Designs, Trackside NASCAR Outlet. Um, I might have forgot, but if I did, shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's always a great broadcast. Love going back and watching it. Um, Congrats to Eric Warman on his good run tonight. He had me worried there for a little while, so congrats to him and Andrew on third. Love racing with them and everybody in our league. And really, for a tough track like it was tonight, just shout out to everybody, working through lap traffic and everything. I think we had some pretty good racing. Um, Thanks to Daniel for everything he does, keeping the league going and all the admins. We all work hard to keep making this thing go round. Um, Thanks to my teammates for all their practice and can't forget to thank Nap Daddy for the awesome paint. We've determined it does 50 horsepower more, so Shout out to Ryko for the setups, and as always, shout out my mom at home watching.
Thanks to the moms for having you. And I think we mentioned earlier tonight we can't say that it adds 50 more horsepower, but we don't argue with results. So
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's doing something. So maybe somebody else needs to start buying some paints from you and see if you can get it on theirs too.
it sounds like you're trying to work out a sponsorship deal there.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
All right, man. Well, congrats again, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Take care.
Yes, sir.
Jamie Horn finishing first place tonight. We're doing his best to get a sponsorship deal with Nat Daddy Racing. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. You know, just twirling my mustache, thinking about some business ventures. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, good run tonight by him, man. It was a lot of fun. I'm actually going to pull up something I haven't done before, but we're going to give it a shot. I don't know how professional this is, but if you do want to see where your current driver is sitting in the points, make sure you head over to Doghouse Racing League.com, doghouseracingle.com, where you can check out where your favorite driver is currently sitting in the points. And we will pull that up for you here. You go over this webpage, you can go to the Cup Series right here. And scroll down to all the way to the bottom here and see the schedule. You can also see the results from last race and also the current point standings that Jamie updates, or Daniel or one of the admins updates almost immediately after the racing. You see that Eric Warman moving back up 2 spots into 3rd place. Justin McMahon going to be sitting in 4th. Kevin Thompson falling back 2 spots. Chris Simon, Gary Clune, Adam Thompson, Josh Culley, Stephen Bonomo all staying in the same spot. More big movers, Tyler Millette moving up 3 spots into 12. Mike Leftwich moving down 3 spots into 15th place. If you want to check out more of that or see their ARCA or Truck Series, make sure you head over to doghouseracingle.com. But with that said, that is just about going to wrap it up here for us tonight. We'd like to give another shout out to our sponsors and everybody watching at home, and give you this opportunity for Hunter to tell you about our sponsor.
I will take that opportunity and run with it, sir. Once again, thank you to Group6 for being not only our series sponsor tonight, but also our race sponsor. Group6 is a leading creative agency, and they're passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com and see how they can drive your digital success. Special thanks once again to Group6 for being our series sponsor this year and our race sponsor tonight for the New Hampshire Group6 156. Doghouse Racing League is also very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. We are also very proud in the Doghouse Racing League and the Group 6 Cup Series to be sponsored by Butt Kicker. If you want the best in sim racing haptics, be sure to head over to their website at thebuttkicker.com and pick yourself up something today. They're trusted not only by professionals, but also by the everyday drivers. And I know it will make your experience better if you pick something up today. Thank you to Butt Kicker for being a longtime friend and sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League. Shameless self-promotion for myself and John at the end of these races. You heard Jamie Horn say it. We can't say it, but might add 50 extra horsepower. You never know. We can't promise it, but it might happen. NetBetty Racing started as a iRacing design shop just last year. We've expanded to try to be your one-stop shop for any and all things iRacing. Be sure to check out our website, napdaddyracing.com, to get your own custom template, design, logo, whatever the case may be. We can help you over there. You can also check out some of our free content available over there. Even if you're not into iRacing and you just want to help support the boys, you can pick yourself up a t-shirt or a hat. You can catch us here live on Doghouse Racing TV every single Thursday night for the remainder of the season. You can catch us over on our own YouTube channel for the Nap Daddy Racing League at 8 o'clock. Excuse me, not 8 o'clock. At 8:15 on Monday nights. And you can catch us on our other social media, Facebook, Instagram. We try to go live on TikTok as often as we can, but that depends on how much work I have to do and how much school John has to do. So either way, we appreciate being here. We appreciate being up here in the booth. And we appreciate the Doghouse Racing League and the Group 6 Cup Series for giving us our big break in broadcasting. And on that note, make sure that you subscribe to the Doghouse Racing TV channel so you do not miss a second of all the playoff action that is going to continue coming your way. We are headed to Kansas next week, same time, same place for the Nap Daddy Designs 201. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the stream. It helps a ton. And thank you to everyone, as always, for all the comments, all the love, not only for the drivers, but appreciate the nice comments for us as well. It makes us feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. So thank you all very much. We appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you next week at Kansas.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be a good time. I like Kansas a lot. I think you heard some of these other drivers talk about they like Kansas a lot. So I'm excited to get there and see how this playoffs are going to keep shaping up as we keep on moving through. But again, it's under 7. Make sure you like, subscribe to Doghouse Racing TV. No ARCA series coming up for the Doghouse Racing League. Not this week. They just ended their season doing a little bit of recruitment. Might have a new series starting up on Friday nights that might be able to check out. Not entirely too sure about that one just yet, but I know there's exciting things in the works for this league as they continue to push forward here through their playoff run. One of the best iRacing leagues that you can get into. If you're looking to get involved, you can reach out to one of the admins to try to get involved and hop in with this new ARCA series coming up, the new Friday night series next season on the Next Gen series. I mean, it's a ton of fun. I've been in it for maybe 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years, and hands down one of the best leagues I've been in. I think other drivers will agree to that and have actually said it inside some of these recruitment races we've had recently. But with that said, that is going to be just about it for us here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and tagging along, and we hope to see you next week. But for the last time, I've been John.
I have been Hunter.
And we will see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody. Thompson and St. Cyr side by side. Racing it out. Who has the faster car to finish this thing? St. Cyr is going to bring it home in first. What a race at the end of that thing. Caution, caution, caution. Come around the corner. Jamie Horn is going to be your winner here at the Mars Properties 200.